educated. Public schools, they're not equipped to work with these kinds of needs, so the kids will fall through the cracks and give up. And during these times, when they are without being in school, they're interested in life skills programs, which we provide, and we definitely need more. But some of what the life skill programs they like are how to open a bank account, cooking, sewing, changing a tire, how to purchase a home. But long-term, we need a non-institutionalized residential facility that could provide these barriers. There's one other important issue is that some lack the maturity to understand their exploitation and that they were a victim and that they are traumatized by it.
Got it. Thank you. And when it comes to funding, what are the least costly parts of completing the mission? And then if you could just follow up with what the most expensive parts, the least and the most costly parts of completing the mission of Escape to Peace.
Okay, well, the most costly would include the safe housing or permanent placement for minors. And then they need legal assistance so they understand their legal rights. And of course, the mental health and trauma care, which helps them understand what led up to their exploitation and the exploitation itself. The less costly are food, clothing, transportation, and toiletries.
Got it. We're going to talk a little bit about those specific needs here in a few minutes, but one other quick question. Do you have an example of a girl that you've provided services to that the process of Escape to Peace has been successful, and then that girl has come back to advocate for Escape to Peace? I would assume those would be your best advocates, but has that happened?
Yeah, we do. We have girls that are advocates. Many are still underage, so they're busy with babies and getting an education. They're not working at Escape to Peace, but they come back and they refer their friends. They continue to keep in touch, and we get together for bike rides and pickleball and of course our 6-foot distancing dinners. And they keep me up to date on their successes.
Gotcha. That's great. When you look forward, this is a final question. When you look forward, what do you think is the most critical need for Escape to Peace now?
Well, safety is definitely a priority, and we will continue to work with the prevention and awareness piece by working with our team of professionals to strengthen the economic support for women and families by continuing to provide resources so they can live a more full and productive life, creating less vulnerability. Here's a fact. There will be 500,000 babies born in the US this year that will be sexually abused before they turn 18 if nothing is done to prevent it. This can lead to years of anxiety, tension, anxiety attacks and phobias, and relationship issues. Our team of professionals are working to build a program to reduce these numbers and create support for younger age children with the continued trauma therapy we provide. We will also continue to work with each of our girls to help them get placed in a school that works for her, where she feels comfortable with the staff and other students. And this is not an easy job. Most will need a lot of help. We're working with a community partner to provide a comprehensive tutoring program.
That's terrific. Thank you very much and keep up your continued great work, Carol. Thank you. Some of the earliest indicators of human trafficking show up in our court system, and we're really fortunate this evening to have Melody Edmonston, who works in the truancy court system, and she's going to join us in just a moment and talk about how Escape to Peace is making a big difference in the work that she does and the court does, but also how Escape to Peace and the court system are able to identify those that have the potential for trafficking And Melody, can you join us, please, and tell us, first of all, a little bit about the truancy court, and then, if it's okay, I'd like to ask you a couple questions as well.
Yeah, hi, Larry. So I do work for Superior Court in truancy, and our whole mission is to follow the law and get kids engaged in school. I know when I originally started, I thought I'd be chasing Ferris Bueller on his day off to school, and what I realized is some aspects of truancy are much darker than that, and that is where our team started to look for other resources like Escape to Peace to solve some of those problems.
And so, when you saw the opportunity to work with Escape to Peace, how did that begin, but what has that path looked like?
Yeah, so when I very first started in court, there was a mom that I saw at the grocery store. Our kids went to the same school, and her daughter was missing and had been missing for quite a while. And she had been not going to school, and mom didn't know it. And so she had brought her two other kids in front of the court to look for some intervention. So for her fear of losing her other daughter, and what ended up happening is they found her daughter's purse and belongings in a local motel. And it's been about 12 years now, and I still run into that mom every day, and she doesn't know where her daughter is. And so that started informing a lot about what I looked for in the truancy court world.
Gotcha. And so, again, kind of following along on that path, can you talk a little bit about not just what the partnership looks like, but why this is such a unique situation for the court? In other words, obviously, I assume that your world is made of systems, but in order, obviously, for this partnership to exist, there had to be some exceptions to this system, so to speak, in order for the Escape to Peace and court partnership to develop. And that had to be, I assume, kind of a unique happening.
Yeah, it used to be that a kid was truant and they'd come in front of a judge, and the judge would create an order for them to go to school. And what we knew is that they had everything Carol had described, mental health issues, drug and alcohol, housing issues, poverty, all of those things. And it didn't make sense to put them in front of a judge. We needed that. We didn't need a hammer. We needed a scalpel to figure out what are those things that are causing them not to go to school. And a really good example is our team ordered a girl to court. She had texted me in the morning and said, "I'm not coming. I'm not even in the county." And I was like, "No, you're coming, or we'll issue a warrant." Well, that's more trauma on a kid. I don't want to do that, but she was also in a very unsafe place. So that day, while running court, when she got there, she was applying for jobs, sitting next to us in court, applying for jobs, getting a phone, which I think you might have helped us get. We got her doctor appointments, dental appointment, all kinds of things. I needed Escape to Peace or somebody like that to be doing that when I'm trying to run a court. It's not a place for a system, right? It's a place for one-on-one human contact. That's what needed to happen.
Good. Well, you two keep up your good work, because it's very obvious that you are a vital link in this work. And I'm really grateful for you for all of the it appears that both of your eyes are open all the time, and that your mind is on Escape to Peace with respect to being a solution provider, but also you get the start, the middle, and the finish here, and that's super important. So thank you for being here. Thanks for your advocacy, and again, your evangelism for Escape to Peace. Thank you. It's also a great pleasure for me to introduce a board member and a subject matter expert of Escape to Peace. John Hollifield is here tonight to share not only his passion about how Escape to Peace and his daily work, much like Melody's, um, helps figure out how these kids are going to get into the path of, we'll call it recovery, if you will. And John, would you share that story with us, please, and tell us a little bit about your daily life in this cause?
First, I'd like to say thank you guys all for taking time tonight to come do this. It's an incredible to see faces here that I've yet to meet. It makes me really excited about the work that Escape to Peace. There's a future in it, and thank you guys for your time to hear this. I started working for the Lake Washington School District 4 years ago, and one of the very first cases that I was handed was a student transferring from another high school. And this student, the first time I got any information was 2 4-inch thick files on the amount of foster care situations and trauma that they had been through. The student was coming to my school because they were being released from foster care back to their parent. Their parent was at that time living in a domestic violence shelter. So the student was going from a home to a homeless situation, essentially. Carol had said something earlier that a lot of these students don't even at times realize that they have been in traffic situations. It may be years down the road before they recall or be able to connect dots that they're like, oh, that actually happened to me this time. They live in kind of a gray area sometimes, and it can be really, really frustrating because they don't actually know why they're processing situations like they are. So this particular student came to me. I was very gung-ho about, yes, we're going to get you back in school. And then I looked at her attendance. And from 7th grade to 9th grade, she missed an average of 125 days a year of school. We are only in the school about 186 days a year. So we're looking at missing 70% of your school year. And I can tell you as someone who tracks attendance, the more school you miss in those upper levels, the less likely teachers are to know you're missing because you're just not there. So I began to develop a relationship with this young lady. And I use that term loosely because she wanted nothing to do with me. She wanted nothing to do with any kind of thing that I was offering her that had anything to do with education. We would go and meet her at the facility where they were at, and her mom wanted nothing to do. They had no good experiences. So we spent a year working in court. Just got to the point where we had run out of resources as a school district. We'd run out of community-based resources where we were. Nothing was working, and it was just grown people and a high school age girl butting heads around a table. And I walked into court one day and met with Melody and Sammy, who are great advocates in what they do. And they said, John, we want to introduce you to someone. And they introduced me to Carol, and Carol gave me an outline of what she wanted to do. And I said, let's do it. I don't have any other option. Let's do it. And we sat that day in front of Judge Sinclair, and he, from the bench, he gave a very impassionate plea to the family to engage with Carol. And when she did, when the student actually began to develop the relationship, the amount of time I'd worked with that student for a year, and I've been doing this type of work for 17 years. Within 6 months, this student is bright, is shiny, she's moving, she's got plans, she's actually working towards not 1 job, but 2 jobs. She's making plans. She's working towards her diploma through a different program, but nonetheless, she's actually re-engaged in education. So I've worked in mental and behavioral health for a long time, and I've not seen someone been able to build such a strong rapport and a system that works so well, so quickly for students. And from that, I developed a relationship with Carol because, again, this particular student wasn't my only one. And we began to refer more students. Something that I'm very proud of, Carol approached me a few months later and asked me to join the board at Escape to Peace, and that she felt that I had something to offer here. And I gladly took that role on. So I want you guys to know there's real evidence here. There's real live situations where these students who have no hope, no future, are building relationships with adults. They're building relationships with people that can help them connect. And Escape to Peace is an awesome, awesome, awesome avenue for that. So I just want to thank you guys again for taking the time to listen to us and to hear what we do. I'll throw it back to you, Larry.
Great. Thank you. Thanks so much. And as I said to Melody and Carol and Rosalind, please keep up your good work. and your evangelism and your every day connecting those that need it to escape to peace. And thank you for being a board member as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, now it's our turn. It's our turn to make a difference. It's our turn to make a donation. And as I was mentioning before, in the chat box, if you just look right there in the chat box, you will see that there is a link, and that link takes you right to the donation page on the Escape to Peace website. And the first thing I want to do is show you some of the greatest needs of Escape to Peace at this time. These are the pieces of the cause, if you will, that need to be funded immediately, and that you can have a opportunity to do that tonight. But before I go any farther, I told you that I would challenge you with the number 5. And this is what I'm asking you to do. We would like to raise $100,000 between now and Sunday night. And so what we're asking you to do is to please make your contributions tonight. The second thing is, please fill out, if your company provides matching, please make sure that you do that paperwork, because we are not able to do that for you. And then the third thing is, I would like to ask each of you, starting tonight, to think of one person for the next 5 days that you can share this with, that you can say, this is what I support, this is making a difference right here in our community. And if you can do that, we will absolutely make our goal of $100,000. Again, think of somebody tonight, think of somebody tomorrow, think of somebody each of the next 5 days, and send them this opportunity to make a difference in the human trafficking world right here in our midst. So just quickly, you can see this with your own 2 eyes. These are literally the greatest needs right now and what they cost. And Carol, I'm going to ask you a question, if you don't mind. Can you maybe in just a brief time just give us a thumbnail about trauma therapy, because I know that is truly a really important part of this process. Can you just give us, again, so that we understand not just what trauma therapy is, but why it works so well?
So trauma therapy, the trauma therapy that I do with these girls are, we work on the trauma to discharge the part that lies in your body, so they will remember, their mind will remember what happened, but their body won't be charged by it. So they will have less of a tendency to repeat some of these things. And what works so well and why they keep coming back is they learn tools on how to help themselves while they're dealing with these hard situations that they're going through.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. Again, just you can see those right in front of you there in terms of transportation, food, clothing, a little bit there about trauma therapy, thank you, educational resources. And then the last one, every one of us has aspirational ideas in our head, things we want to do, people's examples that we want to follow. I think Rosalind is a great example of that. She's probably inspired who knows how many kids to learn how to ice skate and follow her example. That's what these inspiring life experiences are, is giving these girls an opportunity to develop something that is uniquely their, not just their idea, but something they've always wanted to do. You get an opportunity to help make that happen. And again, these are all of the greatest needs that Escape to Peace has. Please make those contributions. Please fill out your corporate matching money, because again, that is a gigantic aspect of living here in the Pacific Northwest. We have these generous companies who are willing to make matching contributions, but again, it's up to you. We unfortunately can't fill out that paperwork for you. And then finally, that power of 5 people, one person tonight, and and then all the way to Sunday. If you can just think of one person to share this with, and let them know we have a goal that we're trying to make, and you would like them to invest in this this cause as well. Carol, I am sure that you want to say thank you. My part is just about concluded here. I am very grateful to everyone that has attended, and everyone that's had an opportunity to share the unique pieces of Escape to Peace, and I know you would like to say the same.
Thank you for being here and your continued generosity. Escape to Peace is on the right track because of your help. Since our last fundraiser, we have used the funds to change the lives of 33 plus girls between the ages of 13 and 18. Thank you. You have helped many with their traumas. You have helped families become less vulnerable. Showing your community support, you have fed, clothed, and showed love. We at Escape to Peace are grateful for you joining with us to change lives. We will continue to work at making our community a place to lift up the vulnerable while we are all a witness to rising hope. Thanks again for being here.
Very good. All right, everybody, thank you. One more reminder, Mary Gail, if you can put up those greatest needs. This is all up to us, everybody. Whatever is important to you, these are the needs. These are the pieces of this cause that need to be funded by you and me right now. And again, please take the time to do that this evening. Please take the time to fill out your matching forms. But again, that power of 5 is super important. Please think of somebody tonight that you can share it with, tomorrow, the next day, up to Sunday. And then we would love to report back to all of you that that our $100,000 goal was met. So my time here is done. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time, your advocacy. Thank you for investing in Escape to Peace, but also for caring about those girls that are in our midst. I'm the father of a nearly 15-year-old. This is very a subject matter that obviously is really super important to me and everyone else. We also have this very cool QR code that's been created. All you do is simply hold your phone up and scan that, and that will take you directly to the donation page as well. So thank you all for being here. Have a good evening. And again, please, the power of 5. Please think of 5 people to share this with, and we will truly make our goal. Thank you. Good night. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.